the MVP of the card would be Sharaputdin. I think there's a lot of hype on the guy. A lot of people maybe think he's like this paper hype fighter where as long as he gets the good matchups, he'll continue to win. But when you see him get blasted, now granted, he was I want to say like minus 600 favorite, so he's supposed to win this fight. But what I like, if you're a fan of Sharaputdin, is his cardio is insane, especially how much he moves. And he was facing a tough opponent, and he got in trouble. Big trouble. Got fucking rocked and was able to respond and literally dominate after that. The 30-27, I could see it 29-28, but he definitely won the fight. I was more impressed with his movement from the first round to the third round. I do think he's a contender, but there are some major holes in his game, especially as he keeps moving up. I think something next for him to see, it's shit or get off the pot, maybe. Or you keep building him like you did a Sugar Sean or something like that. You keep building this kid. You can do that. There's a ton of matchups for him where he's going to keep winning and just build this kind of resume of his and let him get more experience. Maybe give him a good grappler, a good wrestler, but not somebody crazy experienced. See how he handles that. Because the holes in his game will really come to fruition or really be illustrated when he gets to that top tier guy. So I don't know if he's there yet, but there's a lot of promise there. As far as entertainment wise, take my money. He's must see TV. Oh, he's so awesome, much fun to watch. So much fun to watch. I just don't know how he's going to do against the top tier guys. There's too many holes in his game, but the cardio's there for his footwork to be like that from the first round to third round says a lot. If you're going to toss him to the top tier dudes, obviously, Sean Strickland's going to get suspended. They say up to a year. I don't think it's going to be that. I definitely don't think it's going to be that. It's going to be way shorter than that. But let's say Sean Strickland does get suspended, even for a little bit. Let's say it's 6 months. I could see 3 months, to be honest. But let's say it's 6 months. I think you do Sharaputdin and Izzy. It's a favorable matchup for both guys. There's no grappling. The only problem with that is, again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So if Magomedov were to beat Izzy, now you're there. Now you're playing with the big boys. But stylistically, and they need him as a face over in the Middle East, right? They need champions. There were people walking out of the arena during the co-main event and main event. Because there's a lot of money in the Middle East, and that's why they're bringing these big cards. This card's on ABC. They're bringing the big cards over there, but that fan base isn't really a hardcore UFC fan base. The fan base in America is way better. Way better. No one's walking out of the arena for a Robert Whittaker fight, and he's not even American or RDR. No, ain't nobody walking out of that. Even if it's the fourth round, it's important. In general, America's a much better fan base. But, they're not backing it up with all this money. So, in the UFC, they asked one of the employees of the UFC, they said, fans were walking out during the main event. Would you consider tailoring towards more of maybe Sharaputdin's the main event or something like that? Like somebody that's from the general area. And they're like, absolutely not. If you're walking out on a Robert Whittaker fight, you don't know what the hell you're watching, which I couldn't agree more with. But my whole point is, Shara is a big draw in that general area. So if you want to go sizzler, you give him Izzy. But then again, let me see the middleweight rankings, because if you were to beat Izzy, there's some other fights there. If you want to give him friendly matchups that are really tough fights but play into a skill set. Before I look at the rankings, let me go off the top of my head. Izzy would be a good one. Robert Whittaker, I think, would be a really good one. Robert Whittaker could even be next, or Izzy. I would take either or. Strickland be a good one. Strickland be a really good one, depending on what they're doing with his suspension. Yeah. Imavov would be a nightmare for him. Hamzat, don't get me started. DDP would be a nightmare. Jared Cannonier would be tough for him. Roman, Paulo Costa would be a good one. Middleweight's getting a little older, man. some of your favorite legends are slowly kind of passing the torch. I don't know how much Strickland has left. He kind of had his run, right? You got DDP at the top. You got Hamzat doing the damn thing. But as far as the old heads go, meaning guys who have a ton of experience, ton of fights, fan friendly, meaning they're fan favorites. You got Strickland, Izzy, Robert Whitaker, Cannonier, Paul Costa, Marvin Vettori. They're all getting a little older. That division's getting a little older. It's no longer the top kind of tier division. 55 still that. 70 has a lot of talent. 205 is the same, and then heavyweight's a fucking disgrace right now. But yeah, for Sharapova, the Sharabullet, the whole thing would be, we can get him top fights over there if you want him to stay over there and fight in the Middle East. There's some fun fights, and again, he might be a slight underdog, but him being the minus 700 favorite, those days are kind of gone unless they're going to keep milking it just to get him wins. But Strickland is a favorable matchup. Again, meaning they're not going to wrestle. They're not going to expose the holes in his game. Strickland's a favorable matchup. Izzy, Robert Whitaker. There's some guys.
The Izzy one would be super exciting. So
It depends what they want to do with him. Yeah. But that was the best fight on the card. Sharapova's must-see TV.
Dude, yeah. As soon as he walks out, even when he walks out, it's
you can't help but
it's something about him.
He looks like a fucking pirate, for God's sakes. He literally looks like a pirate. Has one eye. So he's must-see TV. So depending on what they want to do with him, there's some favorable matchups there in the top 10, stuff like that. He hasn't fought a ranked guy yet, so to jump all the way to 4 or 2 in Sean Strickland's asking a lot. It's asking a whole lot. Go back to the card for me, Chin. Peter Yan, the favorite, he looked good. He's won 3 in a row now, so we'll see what they do with him. Marcus McGee, it's just a bump in the road. Might be too much too soon, but he showed he deserves to hang with the big boys. So it's just a learning experience for him. It's not the end of the road. He's going to be a beast in that division. I think he is 34, though.
He looks older, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just take a quick look.
35.
Yeah.
35 bantamweight stuff. But again, he can bounce back from that, beat a lot of guys in the division, so it's all good. But 3 in a row for Peter Yan. Love to see him win.
This is Ilya sparring with the Nelk boys. And it's honestly, it seems like a little much. I'll just show you.
Hey! Just came to my house.
His favorite fighter is Islam, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Bro, I love.
He said it is what it is.
I love both guys. It is what it is. No problem.
Kimura.
Oh my God.
I don't know. You spar with with people before, especially people that are not professional. I'm sure you do with not professional fighters. How hard do you go?
I haven't a lot. No, it's never my thing. Strickland does it. Obviously, Topiary does it. For the Nelk boys, it's all about content, right? So they got what they were looking for.
It just seemed pretty hard to me.
Yeah, but that's also, it's good he does that stuff so people know the level. I bet they don't do it again, or maybe they do.
Yeah, that was it.
You're crazy if you don't think there's somebody going, ask him about Armin Sarukian. Like, who? Armin Sarukian. You're crazy if you don't think they have a handler for that. Which, more power to them. Get your money, boys.
Alrighty. So it turns out that Jorge Masvidal said that Jake Paul offered him a fight in the PFL in MMA. But the only issue why Jorge didn't want to take it because it would be less money than he would make normally. But I mean, if he would totally beat Jake Paul in MMA.
Yeah,
right?
beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, so
yeah. Well, the issue Jorge has is him and Nate didn't get paid for that boxing match.
That's wild.
There's a
man.
lawsuit against the guy who put that together. So that's the only knock. Well, I can't guarantee because it's the fight business, but I bet the odds would be high that you get paid for the PFL if you fight Jake. So you at least get paid, you know?
I think that would be like such an easy thing for Jorge to make money.
I know. And people would love to see it.